I want to talk about coronavirus and also about um, the development of this virus and some of my suspicions that are often being confirmed in a lot of news clips or research that I do. It confirms the same ideas. I think that the coronavirus is a bioweapon or was a side project that somebody in CIA kind of went after and worked on it for a while, and it didn't start. Now it started in might have been many years ago, 2015, at least 5 years, and there's also a lot of research that shows that Americans and had a hand in it. Well, the, the, if you are not wearing certain blinders, if you are not a American nationalist, and don't don't discount all kinds of foreign media reports or insinuations, and kind of look at them along with all the trash that the U.S. media puts out, then you're gonna get a different picture. Uh, for example, I was looking at some news from Russia. Well, the Russians were saying that the United States had a bioweapon lab in Georgia. This is not the American Georgia. This is the Georgia that's in near Turkey. It's a country. And then there was another report saying that well, this was what the Chinese said, that the Americans had brought the coronavirus to Wuhan through the U.S. Visiting military in some kind of sporting event. And then there was another report saying that the institute where this virus was kept was really a bioweapon development, and it was a private institute, something like that, and the U.S. government was paying them to research this out. Then there is all kinds of little reports and suspicious comments saying that Bill Gates was involved in developing vaccines for Ebola, and well, there was some stuff in USA Watchdog saying that these vaccines are really suspicious, and they actually put the microbes in them. Like there were some reports saying that Ebola was spread through these vaccines. This is just stuff that just come across in different avenues. Well, I just don't read. Excuse me. I just don't read American newspapers or American media. I research. I look at a lot of different things, and then there was another tidbit from Google News was saying that Gates Foundation has a patent on coronavirus, and that in the future any vaccine that might be developed, then they will be the prime beneficiary. I think there already is a vaccine. That somebody who developed the virus also developed the vaccine. So when the virus that they spread was becoming a problem, then they could sell the vaccine that they already had made. But then Bill Gates came out and said that, oh, the development of a vaccine is going to be many years in the future. But then Trump himself said that there is already drug that can kill this virus. Then there was another little tidbit in USA Watchdog that Trump was arguing with Gates, and then also he was arguing with Fauci, which is the I guess Surgeon General or something like that. Then there was another report, a little more tidbits, that actually CDC and Dr. Fauci, they had all worked on this virus with Bill Gates and foundation that he has. So there is a lot of stuff coming out. There's not just one or two. There's many different little tidbits of news, or what the Russians said, or the Iranian government accused the United States that they were the author of coronavirus and that it is a bioweapon. Then the Americans and Trump and also Pompeo were arguing with the Chinese that no, we did not create this virus, and the Chinese were accusing them of creating it. So, but if you are Iranian like me and you have a very negative and suspicious mind of CIA and US government, you could kind of look at all these tidbits and construct a model or a theory, or it could be a conspiracy theory, but I don't think so, is that the US government, when it wants to develop new technologies or new weapons, they kind of contract it out to Israelis, to foreign companies in places like Georgia, and they develop the technology and they sell it back to CIA or to the US government, and then the US military comes in and spreads it or uses it. For example, when there was an incident where there was a military parade in Khuzestan, in Iranian province, and then there was a bombing, and like 30-40 soldiers got killed. Then the Iranian government investigated this bombing, and they found out that there is groups in Syria which were maybe Daesh. Most Americans, they don't know what the word Daesh means, but it's the same thing as ISIS. That a certain group in Syria, they had like centers and this and that. And they were the ones that used somebody in Saudi Arabia to finance them and hire yet a third person in Pakistan. He was a suicide bomber, and they commissioned him and kind of babied him along to come in and blow himself up in Khuzestan. Then the Iranians were really pissed. This was similar or before when the US drone killed the Iranian general. But then when the Iranian secret police figured out, hey, ultimately this group that was in Syria, they had done this. They did the same thing that they did to the US bases. They send in ballistic missiles, like 20 ballistic missiles, and completely destroyed these centers. They killed them all off. And then the bombings stopped for a while before the US came in and killed the Iranian general. Or then there were another set of ballistic missiles that went into US base in Iraq. But what I'm trying to tell you is that when in the world that we are in, when a country or a group, say CIA, constructed a weapon, bioweapon or drone or something, and went to foreign countries, to Russia or Iran or other countries, and they killed a bunch of people, then these countries, they they will retaliate. But I don't think the media here they portrayed it. It's called blowbacks. Well, what happened in Syria? It was a blowback to ISIS. What what happened uh, with the when the U.S. drone killed the Iranian general? Then their base got bombed, and that was a blowback too. Uh, well, then I conceive that there will be blowback to U.S. bioterrorism, even though the Americans they try to kind of dress it up that no, it wasn't us and this and that. They're gonna get whacked again. I mean, these technologies are everywhere in the world, and there is no reason to believe that there will not be retaliation either with drones or um, with even higher technology or satellites. Uh, these blowbacks happen, but the media here just kind of goes around. I don't know. I think the Americans are in a world of fantasy. Uh, but we can look at the damages that inadvertently has come back here. Well, I don't think that whoever designed this virus really intended it to come back in the United States. But I think this virus got a chance to escape the lab, and then wealthy or high-level government officials or businessmen in Wuhan, they got infected, and then they took it to Iran, and then Iranian high-ranking officials they got infected, and they took it to European countries, and the European countries, even like Venezuela, not Venezuela, Brazil, they got infected, and they were traveling, and they came and infected Trump. I mean, the virus was only meant for certain places, like China or Iran or maybe Italy, but then the influential people that were going around and trying to figure out what's going on or do business, they took it all around. Uh, but this, this can happen the other way around too. But it was a weapon that inadvertently it got back into the people who already had made it. Well, I don't understand why many Americans they don't look at all this evidence that's there. Like it's just like the truth of this is just right in your face, and you just look around. They're totally blinded. I don't know by what, by their own bullshit that they broadcast on an hourly basis. There is evidence. There is evidence that this is a bioweapon and was made by United States. But I don't know. And it has done a lot of damage here that I could just well the stock market, which was high on Fed's punch ball, it finally got some real bad news that it couldn't just ignore. And the stocks they dropped 31%. But then many analysts here are saying that this was just a pen or a black swan, and the market was very much a big bubble. But when I read all this stuff, it's very strange to me how people ignore research, just go on and do something else and blame others. But isn't it very strange? I would think it's very strange that you would see research, all this evidence, and you just ignore it. Well, I worked. I'm a security guard. I worked in a mall, and most of the mall closed down. I mean, ordinary people, they just go with their gut reaction, and many people just freaked out. And I was going around the mall, and the only places that were open were restaurants and and only from to come in and buy the food and leave right now, or take out, or through the drive-through. And I would say that about 60% of American companies, any company that sell clothes, is a retail shop, they close down. Uh, that's a lot of damage. It's not just one mall. We're talking a big size country. Then all kinds of recreation, like Disney closed, all the baseball games, all the football games, they closed down. I don't know. Everything is becoming going indoor. My wife was my ex-wife. She sent me all these pictures that they had made, all this food. I'm gonna put it on my Twitter page, and everything was done indoors. My son, he discovered his skills as a chef, and the school I go to, I study law. It closed down. Um, my doctor called me and said instead of office visits, he's gonna call in, and he was asking if I have some kind of audio, video, um, communication software. I told him I have WhatsApp. Like, the society is gonna go in a completely different directions, and many businesses are going to completely close, and many things are going to be done in the home in a very secluded way. um, I don't think that anybody is going to really prosecute Bill Gates or Pompeo, because then many Americans, they conceive that, oh, we are making these weapons, it's okay, we are directing them against the Iranians, or against Italians, or against the fucking Chinese, or but they don't think that first of all, they can retaliate, and the Chinese have even better scientists than Americans, and then what would be the next leg, that some of these viruses will be engineered there, will be sent here with genetic markers that will only kill off uh, you know fat cats like Trump. I don't know. I find it very strange that people, they don't look at evidence, they don't look at what's out there, or the technologies that are out there. It would have been good if we had ballistic missiles that it could send to Israel and destroy all these labs. But the longer Iranians and Hezbollah and other countries, they wait and try to build up weapons against Israel, the more time Israeli criminals or Zionists have to develop more devastating weapons. This happened like in the World War II. Well, the Allies were very afraid of Germany, because Germany was developing all these very sophisticated weapons, and They could have really changed the outcome of the war. So they were very, very much in the rush to come in and take over all these facilities. Well, I think this is what the Iranian government should be worried. We should send in troops to occupy all these areas, to kill off their scientists, top Zionist criminals, before they get chance to do any more. Or just look how many Iranians died because of Corona, or how many Americans have died, or Italians, or Chinese. Um, I don't know. Uh, I think this video is kind of gonna sound like very disjointed, like everything is like a bit of this and a bit of that. It's not a general idea, but truth is like that. When you do research, you find a little bit here, a little bit there, and it's really up to you to put them in a big picture. Well, thank you for being my YouTube channel. Please subscribe and leave comments.